Hey guys, welcome to the next video about startups and coding. And today I have an interview with Luis. He is engineer, software engineer in Google for the last 10 years. And I think we have a very good topic to talk. Hi Luis, can you tell about yourself? Tell your story.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite. Okay, I guess it's good to start at the beginning.
Yeah, we actually recorded this, and after that, the space on the phone was. Yeah, but let's make the short version.
Yeah. So, well, the first thing I would say is that I joined Google not as a software engineer. I went through the side door. I did an MBA. So I was recruiting for finance, back office type of teams, and that is kind of how I got into Google. Even though now I'm a software engineer, I never had to pass a coding interview.
Yeah, that's good things, and actually, guys, that's the good reason to understand. As I mentioned you before, okay, I will repeat. So, for example, if the person want to build a career in tech company, but he don't have a skills, let's say, to go in a machine learning department, but he want to enter in this world. So what do you think about the strategy when he go to the financial or a support team or any department in a Google or in another tech company, and just to start build a career? Because I think that when you're already inside, it's much easier to go inside the Google than to go in from the main gate.
I think that is actually a smart path. So I was a financial analyst before. I automated myself out of that role. Went to grad school. Google recruited me. They told me, we have this back office finance type of operation. See if you can come in. I wasn't really excited about that, but it was Google, and a friend told me Google is like a lobster. There's hard on the outside, but soft on the inside. So just get in, and after that, you can pivot, you can move, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it works in most big tech companies or even startups.
Yeah. I think for sure it works in every corporation. Let's talk about the management in Google, how Google works, because for a lot of people it's some magic things in how the management works in Google, how the team structure works. So how to tell this story about that you tell me about the coding, not everything was perfect, and you was coding, and that's how you get the promotion.
Yeah, all right, let's give that a story. So I joined this finance team. We were just managing operations per se, but so everything that is in the front end. Well, let me back up a couple seconds. We were working with Google Flight Search. It was called ITA. Okay. Is the engine that powers whenever you're searching for a flight, not just in Google, but Kayak or even Delta, American Airlines. We're actually have the engine that powers all that. So as a user experience, state of the art, amazing. On the back end, actually charging money to the airlines, to these partners, it was via emails, via sending Excel files, Excel sheets. I had a team in Manila that manually they were getting these files, preparing invoices, doing all this stuff. So it was cardboard and duct tape. That is how things were running, even at Google.
Guys, sometimes you're thinking that in your corporation or in your startup, all people do something very bad. In Russian, we call it через жопу. I mean, from the ass, but I think in all corporation, and he proved this even in Google or in Facebook or Apple, there's some piece of code can be shitty. That's actually it is a real life. So that's how it works, and you don't need to just say, "Oh, this shitty code." You just need, okay, this is how this works, and we need to fix this and to do it better. And actually, let's talk about the promotion. So how to be promoted inside the big corporation, how to move from the one department to the more like a prestige department. So how to express yourself in the big corporations.
Right. So I described that situation, and before, like we were talking about, like, do you like just bow your head down and like just follow orders, like you get directions from your manager, from your team, like follow, and no, that's not how like you progress your career. You like find problems like this, like what I described, and then you take the initiative. So what I did was I proposed to create like a system, just automated that. We didn't have like engineers on our team. Remember, I joined through like the finance, MBA kind of like side. But I already was like teaching myself how to code. So I proposed to them, actually, I think I can build something for this.
So some products in Google was created by coders who cannot code. Guys, that's how it works, you know.
Yes, no, absolutely. So I use that as kind of like my springboard to then like recruit, and that was a 20% project.
Tell what is a 20% project in Google?
Yeah, a lot of people have like heard about this, but it means that you can spend 20% of your time working on whatever you want, on whatever you think it is important. So I told my manager, my team, hey, can I do this as a 20% project? I found another like technical team, like some managers like, okay, they'll mentor me a little bit, and I'll just like build this. And then we launched. It was successful. Then we didn't need to like do this like manual, tedious work. And because of that that project, I got promoted. And again, like it was not like following orders. It was not like just carrying on with day to day. No, like you take your own initiative. And when you put your neck on the line, that is when people remember, and that's when they help you like push you forward.
In Google, it's magic good manager. They understand what is going on, but these guys will tell me, "Oh, I'm working in a shitty startup. I always see you don't understand what is going on," or "I'm working in a shitty corporation and the manager they are stupid. What I need to do? How I can like highlight myself?" So the question is, if your manager like not so like he's skeptical, what do you need to do if he's skeptical about your initiatives?
So we can check and then continue. Very good. We can talk about like that concept of hierarchy and network.
Okay.
Because I think that is kind of how you get around.
Tell what is a hierarchy.
A hierarchy.
Okay.
Hierarchy, imagine like military. You have like general, directors. There's a line of authority that like everybody follows. That's a hierarchy. In any company and whatnot, you have like a hierarchy all the way to the
just
CEO.
didn't know what the word on English. Yeah, because in Russian, hierarchy.
It's almost the same.
It's my shitty English.
And let's say that you are within a hierarchy. How do you fight that hierarchy? You fight that hierarchy with a network. And that is actually like, it doesn't have to be in a company, even in worse. You create like friends or like a sphere of influence.
Okay.
So even if your manager disagrees with you, but you can influence your peers, your coworkers, your manager's peers also, then they're not going to be like so quickly to exert that authority over you because they know that you have like influence.
Okay.
So and that is something that Google tends to look forward to. They call it like leadership, that you can actually lead other people, even if you don't have authority over them, that you have influence, that you can exert and like corral people to follow you. So that is, you can use this outside of Google in any company. Just create like your circle of influence, and you can go around any dumb manager or whoever is against you.
How many engineers for a project in some teams? No, I mean, in Google there are a lot of departments, or like a coding department, and in this department will be coders for YouTube, coders for search, blah blah blah. Or every project has their team with the different roles, and let's say, what is their perfect number of engineers for like a project? What do you think?
Oh, I don't think there's like a given answer, for that. Usually, let's say like a project starts, we like discuss this also. A lot of the projects they start as a one engineer's idea who wanted to build it as a 20%. Gmail is the perfect example of that. Somebody like wrote it and was like, okay, I want to like have like this, and then it was successful. So then they were able to attract people to help on that project, get more engineers, and as the project grew, they got like more resources. My own team right now, when we start like building it, so I'm like in YouTube in this very like niche project, it was just me and my manager. He's also like an engineer. We both like build most of it from scratch, and once we prove value, then is when we got like headcount, then we got like more people, more engineers. So it is hard to say. Sometimes like you just carry that burden on top of you, and sometimes it's more fun.
Actually, if you're like the interesting thoughts. For example, for me, that's easy to build a startups to make a risk, all this stuff. So, but a lot of people, they want to create something, but they're like scary to go in this like ocean, And actually, this kind of approach can teach you this startup spirit to create things from the scratch, but without the risk, because you have a salary, you have all this stuff. You cannot be like a fire it, No, I mean, nobody will not fire you because you make initiative. Even if you fucked up, don't worry, because the people who are managers, they understand that you're a smart guy. That's okay. So I mean that if you want to build a startup or you work in a corporation, try to build your first product in corporation. So another question. You can build a product in Google. It can grow, but you never be like a co-founder, CEO, CTO, and all this stuff. Even if you will have resources, blah blah blah. But at the same time, you can go take a risk and build a startup, blah blah blah. And let's imagine how to make a lot of money. Not that, okay. Let's imagine the situation if I build the product and it start to generate, let's say, $1 billion revenue. No, let's imagine. So how in the Google to make these kind of things, to be like have a deal, I will be like a part of this product and I will have a revenue share of all this stuff. I mean, like a co-founder inside things. So is it possible? Or if you want to pretend of the revenue share, you have to build a startup. You understand the question? Yeah.
Yes. No, I totally understand. And there's a lot of people at Google who, they push their own ideas, their products become large. I think like right now he's like the main guy, or like even the CEO of the like physical devices at Google. Mm-hmm. Google VR. He started as a 20% project. He started with the Google Cardboard. It was his own idea. He launched that. Now he's the CEO of like the devices. So I guess like you're not really a founder, but like he's set up for life. Now that was like one specific case. Usually when people have like good ideas, they succeed. They just like get promoted and they climb through the ladder. When they get suppressed, like they didn't get support from the organization, from their teams and whatnot, but they still believe in the idea, they like just jump ship and then they start something on their own. I think it was like the guy who created Character AI. He wanted to like build that within Google. They're like, no. He went outside and built Character AI, and then he was an acqui-hire for like couple billions of dollars. So like
again at Google.
He went again at Google. They didn't let him build inside of Google, build it outside, and then they were like, oh, let's hire again this
actually
guy.
Guys, this is a very cool exit strategy for some people who are working in corporation, because they know the pain of the corporation, they know decision makers, all this stuff, and it's very easy to sell your product to this corporation, because you know everything, you like have a contacts and all this stuff. So okay.
Yeah, there's like another point I wanted to add for that. You don't even need to like create or like pursue your own idea within a big corporation. Sometimes it's just enough that you observe
Okay.
what are the other internal toolings, internal systems that the corporation does, and just replicate that outside. So at Google, we use a monorepo, and all the tech that is used at Google is just exists within Google.
Okay.
So GitHub, we have like our own version that is like called Piper. We have-
Okay, that's
we-
interesting. Guys, this is about the ideas that you can like make. Okay.
Yeah, you can just replicate because Google has been like doing this forever. They built everything from scratch. They also needed like a kind of like issue ticketed system, so they create Buganizer. Later on, like somebody created like what is it, Jira? I think it's like
Jira,
what people
project
use
manager. Yeah,
outside Project Manager. Again, like we sell it. We don't use GitHub. We have our own system called Piper or an IDE. Now it's like a fork of VS Code. So there's like a lot of these little things that were created inside. And some people just like took that idea and was like, this can be like it's
whole product.
a whole product, and they just like replicated that outside.
Actually, I think with Asana was the same. Asana is like a Jira project management software, and it's created by Dustin Moskovitz. He was the first CTO of Facebook. So I think that when the Facebook started, so he was an engineer, and he need to like to make a pipeline of the project management, and he said, okay, it will be my startup. and actually Asana is like a $20 billion company. So that's why you just I read some article, and one smart guy said you can package something or unpackage something.
Yeah.
So that's about all this stuff. So I mean that you can sometimes package something and go to and sell this to the corporation, and also you can unpackage and with unpackage about the startup worlds. It's named Craigslist unpackage. So
Yeah.
the Airbnb. It is the part of the category of unpackaged things. They have a Tinder. No, I mean that where you can find
Misconnections.
yeah the jobs, misconnections, jobs, all this stuff. So I mean that guys, this is about how to find ideas. So sometimes you just need to see what things corporation use and build this for the another corporation. Actually, in my startup, I also try to do the same things. Now, Zara launched virtual try-on for their customers inside the app.
Yeah.
And a lot of girls that I talk about the fashion, they say, "Oh, can you do the same things like Zara did with the app?" And I said, "Zara is like had the resources to make the app, all this stuff. So, but I try to make this small solution that these small guys can like implement to the small business." So actually, guys, finalize. Think what corporation can do that they have resources. You can actually copy these things and provide these things for the small players because they don't have resources to create their own GitHub.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There was like one thing I remember. So within Google, there's some tool called a snippet, meaning you just take like a screenshot of something you want to like share within the organization, like annotate it and share as your link. It was again like a 20% project, just this one engineer who created it for himself. And then I think he like left Google, something happened, but everybody at Google was using it and it was broken. And there was like no team, no manager. It was just like this random tool. I believe maybe like if nobody has created that externally, that's like an idea right there. And just like that, sometimes when you're like in it on the day-to-day, you become like fish in the water. You don't recognize these opportunities.
So another thing, interesting story, guys. Actually, a good way to make the startups, because in the corporation you can prove that your solution is working, because nobody in corporation will not. For example, you are in a team and you create a tool for your coworkers, and if these shitty things, nobody with your friends will not will not use this, you know. And when you create the good things, you see that inside your corporation people start to use this, and this is a proof of concept. You just leave the corporation and create the same things for the market. But the proof of concept, you can provide a free proof of concept inside the corporation, like this dude did with this with this screenshot. Tell another story. I will check.
Let's check it.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. You just talk to the mic. You are main. This is our first interview, guys. Sorry for this. Actually, not bad. You know, first interview with the Google engineer.
No, not bad.
Tell another funny stories.
I'm trying to like remember a couple of the other like funny things that have happened, or like just prompt me on something and then it'll come.
Okay. Tell how corporation compete with each other. For example, I mean, with the products. No, for example, now we see this ChatGPT and Gemini, all this stuff, and you know, before ChatGPT, nobody didn't care about all these chatbots, LMS. But when there's some startups booming, all people start to like thinking about this. Maybe you can share how Google make the decision. Have we go to this market? Have we to build this kind of things or not? So maybe some this kind of ideas.
Oh, I can like tell you like a kind of like funny story with the inside. So like at Google, things are very consensus driven. Everybody has an opinion. Like again, like there's no much like hierarchy from above. You need to convince people. But in the age of LLMs, when things needed to move fast, that counted against us, and we were like moving very slow because of our culture.
Okay.
We had like that whole messed up with the image generation. Remember when we first launched, creating like a black George Washington.
Okay.
That is when Sergey, one of the co-founders, like stepped back in
Okay.
into DeepMind.
Okay.
He usually carries like Google culture, and I remember he submitted a CL. A CL is like a commit. Again, like we use our own technology. He submitted like some very like simple CL, and the system at Google is like you submit something and somebody else like approves. Anybody can see all the list of like commits, and by your like username, and they saw like, oh, like Sergey's username has not been active since like the first early years at Google. So a ton of people start like approving, commenting. Oh yeah, this CL looks beautiful to me. And it was like a one line of code that he just changed, just like config file, just like something simple. It was like like one of those kind of like funny moments.
I actually did you talk with Sergey or with Larry? So no, I mean, is it possible to meet them? Like how if you talk with them, how they look? No, you know, that because for me, these like guys, they just like. Divas, I don't know how, like ghosts, you know, spirit thing. Actually, are they humans or not? You know, something like this.
So the first time that I saw them was on TGIF. It stands for like Thank God It's Friday. We used to have it every week, just like having beers, having food, and they would come like in front of the company and answer tough questions. They would get like interrogated, like, why are we doing this with this product? Why are we doing this thing? So I remember like seeing them in person that time. Ever since then, like a lot of those interviews, those questions got leaked into the media, the press, so they stopped having that.
Okay.
They stopped having those. But I did meet Sergey in person, randomly, not on campus, but on a party. On a party in Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, there's a lot of these like kind of house parties, and it was like this hacker house type of a thing. Somebody else invited me with like just wear suit. There was like a DNA testing magazine. There was like a flying car from this. It was like this kind of crazy party. And I remember like just showing up and start talking with people. Everybody was like super interesting. And then suddenly I saw these, we call them crop circles, like just a bunch of people making like a circle, and there's somebody in the middle. And I looked, I was like, oh fuck, that is like Sergey. So yeah, I just went there like didn't really talk much. Like a bunch of people wanted to get like their 2 seconds and stuff. But yeah, no, he was like really
Friendly,
chill,
yeah,
friendly. Sergey is yeah, is like that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I had a lot of questions and I forget about the half of them. Can you're talking a lot with the different people in the Silicon Valley. Tell what the difference between Google, Apple, Meta in the cultural side. So
Cultural sides. Okay. Some of the very stark differences that I can tell is at Google, everything again is like very consensus driven. You need to be a little bit of a politician, convince people. And you do need to be kind of like, we call it googly, like just
Googler, okay.
like googly. Googly is part of one of the things that we hire for. And it's just kind of like get along with other people. Amazon, in the other hand, they're very hierarchical.
Okay.
Like when Jeff Bezos was the CEO, if he dictated something, he was like a micromanager.
Okay.
Things would like follow through. And I remember having some friends. I actually had an offer from Amazon also. I didn't join, but a bunch of my friends did, and they said like, yeah, when Jeff wanted something, it was like yes sensei, and like everybody followed orders. But they measure everything, like every decision that they want to do. They had like test A/B, like substantiated everything with data. And that is something slightly different from Apple.
Okay.
In Apple, everything was about taste, and I think that is that comes from like Steve Jobs. They like didn't really care about like, do we have like data from the users, from whatnot. It was like, I guess like what Steve Jobs have these.
The people they are different. You know, for example, when let's imagine you see the person. And can you recognize he's from Apple, from Google, from Meta? No, I mean if they're not wearing on the stuff.
A little bit, but not really.
Not really. Yeah?
Not really. Within Silicon Valley, things tend to be very incestuous, meaning like the same people that are working in Google one day, they go to Meta the other day and whatnot. What I know happens right now is, well, culture in Google is still pretty good. Culture in Meta right now with all the layoffs and stuff and the hierarchy stack ranking, they tend to be like
not cool.
Or like backstabbing each other because they don't want to be in the bottom of the
culture. I mean, the Google culture, it's in Silicon Valley, how to say, looks more better than in Meta. That you want to say this? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I would say like tends to be like more chill.
Okay, let's talk about the Silicon Valley. So, for example, in what company I have to work so that all people say, oh, that's cool. For example, Apple better than Google or Google better than Apple. Okay, I understand that to work in Google it's cooler than work in Meta. I understood this or in Amazon. Yeah,
I would say they're like on the same tier. Yeah, like right now what is hot is like or very exciting is if you are on one of the AI labs. Yeah. So OpenAI, Anthropic, and whatnot, they're like sucking up talent from Google.
Okay. Well, because I play football, and it's like Real and Barcelona. That's like a high level, and then another teams. So it means that OpenAI, Anthropic, now it is like a Barcelona and Real, and maybe Google AI Labs. DeepMind. It's also like a high level. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Do you think how to, another question. So how to get you think in like a OpenAI or Anthropic as an engineer? So for example, if you will have a task, and you want to go in these companies, I think that they have an absolutely different skill set like an average coder. So it's like a machine. I'm not a coder, so they have a different skills. Is it true?
Depending on like what roles you're recruiting for and the recruiting schedule for each one of those companies. I actually I did interview both with Anthropic and OpenAI. didn't pass those interviews, but they were recruiting for like just full stack engineers because they just
Okay.
needed people.
I'll tell about these interviews, or you don't want to share this.
No, I can share the interviews. I think first it was like with this intelligence team within OpenAI. Then I actually interviewed twice. The first time just with the engineer manager, I guess like we didn't click. So yeah, too bad. Second time, I think like I failed during the technical coding interview because there's like so many people who want to work there. Like if you don't pass with flying colors, then that's like a no. And I knew like I had to struggle quite a bit to get through the technical challenge. So yeah, I didn't pass that one. With Anthropic, I think it was just like a take-home assignment, and then
And use Claude Code.
yeah.
Tell about your first that you told me about the email, how you got in Google.
So, okay, bear in mind this was like 12 years ago or so. I still had my Hotmail account, but to apply to Google, you needed to open a Gmail account. So I did.
It was not popular at that time.
No, I mean it was popular, but like if you already had like an account, it was like okay, it's kind of like a hassle. But like I opened it just so I could apply to Google, and I applied for a company for like the Google headquarters in Europe, South America, and in the US. I kind of like forgot about it. I received like some rejections from Google, so I was like, okay, yeah, like of course they receive like millions of applications every year. A month later, I was like, oh yeah, I have like a Gmail account. Let's open that. And then I saw an interview invite, and it was like from the US headquarters. I completely forgot because I received rejections from Europe and South America. So it was like a month later. That I was like, okay, let's email back the recruiter. I'm still interested. Are you still interested? So can I give them, maybe I gave them the cold shoulder. The recruiter like emailed me back, like, yeah, sure, like let's interview you. And yeah, like I don't know, like just pass that interview and
that's
it
funny,
worked.
guys. You know, when you want something a lot, you actually don't have this. But when you like положил болт, like we on Russian said, so it sounds happens. Tell how these companies like Anthropic, OpenAI, how they recruit. I mean, they're like hunting someone, or they have like a job list where you can apply. So I mean that, or they have build a network of the HR. So how the hiring in Silicon Valley works? Because you know, people who are watching, maybe they don't know. And they think that okay, I just like apply for their job and it works. Maybe it works, or maybe HR's scanning. So how it works in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, they have like recruiters who are like constantly scouting LinkedIn and checking in. That kind of works when you already have like a big tech company resume. Like you do get like messages all the time from like recruiters from other companies. That's it. If you don't, that is when you need to be more proactive. Of course, there's like the job application sites. My recommendation from there is check for like posts that have been posted within 24 hours. A lot of them, because that is when they get like flooded with applications, and usually they just like wait until they get like couple hundred and like, yeah, why even bother to look beyond that?
What the another strategy? For example, I want go to the big corporation, and I found that maybe some team lead of the, let's say, of YouTube, or like maybe another project that not so fancy. And I just sent invitation to him in LinkedIn or what else, and say, hey, I think that it can be approved. So I mean that start to talking with this guy, not with the HR. You know, all people are going to the one door, and I understand. Okay, you need to go to the another door. So and you just like have a conversation with this person after like, again, man, can you hire me or something like this? What do you think about this?
Oh, totally. We were at a party, and I remember. There was like
I will drink a little bit more.
There was like this long line to the toilet in this party, and Anton said like, well, there's like tons of restaurants here in Bali. I'm just gonna go walk around 10 meters and then go to the toilet in the restaurant next door. So if you go through the crowded door, expect to be rejected, expect to wait forever. Just like look for those like loopholes. And same when you're like applying for jobs in tech companies and whatnot. Another like hack. Sometimes hiring managers, they want to post on LinkedIn like, hey, I'm hiring for this team, like hiring this, like just put a like search and like reach out to them directly. They'll appreciate you like taking that initiative.
And then other things, you need to ask questions and be curious. No, I mean really curious about the stuff and ask questions. And when the manager get questions about his product, what he is doing, he 100% pay attention about all this stuff. For example, if someone will ask me a questions about my startup, about my baby, I will, I want to tell about this for all world, It's very easy. If you want to sell something for me, let's say, I'm a small person, but in general. So you just no need to sell me your like a service. You just need to ask questions about my product, and we already have a conversation, and it's will be like much easier. Let's talk about the AI. So how AI in coding works right now. So what's your expectation? What do you think? Because I'm not a coder. Maybe my questions are stupid, but so.
Not stupid questions, man.
Not super smart questions.
Not stupid questions.
Okay.
So, what can I say that hasn't been said before? Okay, like a little bit of like the inside type of things. I think at some point, like the CEO of Google said, like 25%, 30% of our code was like AI generated, and internally we were like, what the fuck? We what? And then we're like, maybe he's just trying to like pump up the numbers. We had like autocomplete type of things, like maybe they're counting that. Then Cloud Code came, or like Cursor. A lot of these tools we couldn't use internally at Google. We had to like still like write code by hand like cavemans. As of a couple months ago, again, like internally, everything that we do at Google has to be like built internally. They merged Gemini into our own IDE.
Okay.
So then we can use it kind of like Cloud Code, like Cursor, I would say more. And is still kind of rough. We are saving sometimes. I don't know. I would say the whole profession of being like a software engineer, I think it just like changed in the last 6 months. Just
change. Yeah.
It changed, yeah, completely. How is it going to look in the future? I think is still a bit defined. Now is more about you almost feel like you're an engineer manager. Before you were writing like the low level code.
Yeah, you manage.
Now you're like more managing at a higher level, and it's actually like a lot of work to like prompt, manage, check for mistakes, checks for like what are these agents doing on the code. So the profession has just changed. I think it is easier in certain terms, but now like you need to have the judgment, and if something goes wrong, like you're on the hook, your neck is on the line.
Actually, I personally don't believe in vibe coding right now, because I cannot code, and when I start to do this, the first error, and because I don't I don't understand what is going on. Is actually another example. I know some friend of mine, and she was like an actress in a school on the French language.
Yeah.
And they have how it says theater performance in the French, and she needs to talk on French. But the problem is that all of this group, they was learning French, blah blah blah. But what she did, she has a good memory, and she remember all monologues on French, but she didn't understand what it means. So all this stuff. So, and she said that all time I just like learned this by heart.
Yeah.
Like but she didn't understand what is actually the translation of all this stuff. And you feel when not technical people start to vibe coding, it's something like this. I see that it's something going, it's maybe some clickable, but I don't understand all these like lines of code. That's why I don't believe in the vibe code, maybe right now. But in future, I think more. The good engineer with this weapon, he become more effective and more competitive.
Yeah.
So the question is, so for example, what do you think? Normal engineer with the AI stuff, or cool engineer but without AI stuff? So normal with AI and ninja but without AI. Who will win?
No, there's no question. Of course, like the engineer who has like AI helping.
Yeah, really.
Like yeah, there's no question about it. The question might be like, in the future, what is going to happen? Like pure AI building systems and like just fixing itself, or will we always need that like human AI connection? I think that is the most interesting question.
Yeah.
And that I don't know. So far, it seems that you do need like the connection of like a human AI. In like chess right now, there are like these tournaments where like they have like competing. Well, not just like AI to AI, human to AI, but they have like teams of like human AI versus another human AI, and they call it chimeras. And those are tends to be the ones, the games who are like most competitive. And there's something yet that AI hasn't cracked.
Okay.
Which is kind of like this intuition and ability of generalization for us.
To go on the next door.
Yeah, exactly. To go on the next, for example, like an AI can be like a PhD level in so many topics, but it needs to consume the whole world knowledge to get that. A human, like a child, just needs a couple examples and he generalizes it. So there's like a slightly difference between humans and AIs.
For example, our use case. So we had a customer for chatbot AI try-ons, and I see how the customers chatting with the fashion store, and the questions. And when I see all this stuff, I figure it out that the chatbot in this, it will be like super challenging, because the question was like, oh, I have this like a dress, but do you have, I don't know how to say in English, like nitki, how to say, no, I mean, all this stuff, can you change this? And I figure it out that
Stitching or
it's like a stitching, that, and I understand that AI will never will understand this kind of question, but human will figure out. So that's why in the some field AI will really replace humans. For example, in translation.
Yep.
Before I was pay a lot of money. No, not a lot. I mean, pay money for translator who like check my old posts on social media or play the articles. Now they don't need this, but for coder stuff, we still need this AI. Actually, let's thinking about the last Gemini 3 beat ChatGPT in coding last in December. So, but what do you think? Who will win on this AI game?
That is like very very tough question, because even on the benchmarks, I think like right now like. The different AI labs, they're like playing to the benchmarks, like optimizing the, like you have the test and like you're working towards the test. And I think the best measurement might be like who's getting the adoption. Like at least developers, they're gonna like switch to whatever model is working best. And what we're noticing right now is that there are like different niches where like the different companies are like becoming the leaders. For example, OpenAI is becoming like the leader in like the consumer in a consumer application.
Actually, I don't believe that Gemini will beat GPT in the consumer, because consumer, my mom think that AI it is a ChatGPT. So that's about this. But actually, we are doing for our AI startup image generation. Nana Banana wins, and ChatGPT tries to do this. So, but ChatGPT sucks in this. I think the Google with their data will win it. So maybe actually the first AI era was like who will be like a consumer first and how to
Yep.
say wide solution. But now I think the next 5 years, if it will be niche solutions.
Yeah. So consumer, like OpenAI, they got the stronghold there. Anthropic, I think they have like the stronghold in like enterprise. That is how they're like competing there. Gemini, like yeah, like they improved quality dramatically. They made inwards on consumer image generation. I think that might become like the niche because Google has all the YouTube data, all the video and image. So that is like a very powerful data set. And the next frontier, I think, is going to be like what you mentioned, the different niches and whether you control the data that you can like
Yeah.
train or fine tune an LLM for that specific use case.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit life in Silicon Valley. So that's